very much. Thank you. The Director General, Tuketi, sorry. The Director General of the World Health Organization, my dear friend and brother, Dr. Tedros, my sister, DG, Head of UNON, Dr. Zainabu Baigura, diplomatic missions represented here, Mzee Onesmus Soleme Oyoi, whom we are here to honor today, ladies and gentlemen, let me say how pleased I am to join you here today as we celebrate a new dawn in the health emergency response within Africa. We are here to break ground for the World Health Organization Africa Regional Operations and Logistic Hub, which indeed is a historic moment for our country and indeed for the entire Eastern and Southern African region. I feel very compelled to commence my remarks by expressing our and my personal sincere gratitude to Dr. Tedros, the Director General of the World Health Organization, for the decision to establish a WHO regional emergency hub in Africa, and more so here in Nairobi, as one of the 3 regional WHO emergency hubs on the African continent. Each year, as has already been pointed out, we have over 100 health emergencies occurring in the east, central, and southern parts of Africa. Epidemic-prone diseases, outbreaks such as cholera, Ebola, measles, meningitis, yellow fever, just to mention a few. And these emergencies, along with the current COVID-19 pandemic, pose a serious health and social, as well as economic and security risks that threaten to reverse the years of progress in health and indeed the overall social economic development progress that our continent has made. The scars left behind by these recurring health emergencies is the reason we are here today. Together, united in our common cause to invest better in emergency preparedness and response. Just like many other nations, just as we were recovering from the social and economic effects of COVID-19, we are now in the midst of a possible 6th wave of the pandemic that is compounded, unfortunately, by this chilly and gray weather that we're experiencing in Kenya and around us. The loss and the havoc and the pain we have had to endure since we reported our first COVID-19 case, and through the last 5 waves of this disease, have no doubt been devastating, not only to lives and families, communities, but also to our economy. In response to the pandemic, the resilience of our nation was indeed put to test. However, over time, our Kenyans embraced the fact that it was not enough for the government to upscale its efforts if the citizens themselves did not upscale their engagements as well. And they all understood that indeed a challenge like COVID-19 requires citizens to partner with governments in finding solutions to contain such challenge, but also requires nations to work with each other in order to ensure that we get lasting solutions. So, ladies and gentlemen, although we as African nations did relatively well in our attempt to contain the disease and flatten the curve, we all must remember that there were two challenges that stifled our efforts. Firstly was the supply of essential commodities such as PPEs, which were very limited, and secondly, the vaccine inequality problem due to the global supply chain challenge, and regrettably, what we referred to as vaccine apartheid. The profound challenges led to the emergence, however, of a new path and innovative thinking on the part of many African countries. And the emerging path was laced with opportunities, with a promise of a better tomorrow. We in Kenya, for example, have now developed our own capacity to manufacture our own PPEs for local use as well as for export to the region and the world. And very soon we shall be launching our own vaccine manufacturing capacity, Kenya BioVax. And so therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the setting up of this WHO logistics hub in Kenya goes hand in hand with the establishment of the Kenya BioVax Institute, our government's first human vaccine manufacturing plant. The local production of specialized health products and technologies at Kenya BioVax, including production of a range of human vaccines that would be pre-qualified by WHO, shall create a strong energy in the supply chain partnership between the WHO and Kenya. This will no doubt ensure that the region in particular and Africa as a whole have self-reliance and self-efficiency through enhanced access and availability of important medicines for all our citizens. So therefore, once again, Director General, the people of Kenya appreciate WHO as a valued partner, particularly during the COVID-19 response, but also in strengthening in-country systems and structures for emergency preparedness and response. It is important to note and let Kenyans know that WHO was indeed instrumental in supporting the establishment of centralized outbreak coordination, joint planning and emergency response management, communication, and information management structures here in Kenya. The WHO was also instrumental in helping us set up the Public Health Emergency Operations Center for coordinating operational information and resources for strategic management of public health emergencies. The government also acknowledges that the new innovative initiatives launched by the World Health Organization to improve the capacities of African countries to respond in real time to increasingly numerous and complex health emergencies. And it is in this context that the WHO Regional Office for Africa sought to strengthen and expand the WHO Emergency Hub in Kenya to coordinate high-quality responses to health emergencies in Kenya and other Eastern and Southern African countries. I am duly informed and I do appreciate that the vision of the enhanced hub is to serve as a modern storage center for essential medical equipment and consumables, which will also ensure timely logistical support to countries with emergencies in our region. The hub will also house a center of excellence specialized in capacity building in health and crisis emergency management. An expanded and more versatile emergency hub in Kenya will allow the WHO to effectively and swiftly support Kenya and all Eastern and Southern African countries by maintaining stockpiles of medical and logistical supplies, onboarding and training a multidisciplinary team of human resource to serve as Africa's elite emergency experts, and stationing WHO and the AFRO health emergency professionals to ensure quick deployment during public health and humanitarian emergencies in our region and in Africa as a whole. So again, as has been stated, and to facilitate the commencement of these operations of the hub, the government and the people of Kenya have, in addition to allocating 30 acres of land, I speak acres, this man speaks hectares. It's exactly the same. Adjacent to the Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital, we have also committed $5 million towards operationalization of this hub, and we will continue to collaborate with the WHO and other development partners in sourcing for more resources to support the completion and the full operationalization of this hub. The government has also provided WHO with rent-free office space at the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital to accommodate the initial staff complement of up to about 150 officers who will be needed to start operations for the establishment of the hub and to commence the shipment of medical supplies that can set up a required warehouse. This space, which we have just opened, has been identified, and it will be in the building of the Training and Research Innovation Building of the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital. In view of the nature of the operations, indeed, as we have just been told, the Emergency Logistics Hub will especially require and need to be able to ship commodities and other logistical support within 24 to 72 hours. So therefore, my administration did direct the National Treasury and the Kenya Revenue Authority to ensure an expedited and fast-track lane for customs clearance for all medical supplies destined to this facility. And I am pleased today to announce that as a result of this, the Kenya Revenue Authority, in collaboration with other government agencies, has now developed an end-to-end process flow map for this expedited clearance process in order to ensure the smooth running of this facility. I want to assure WHO of Kenya's unflinching support for strengthening your activities and your position as a global leader, for a coordinating entity for preparedness and response to pandemics and other health emergencies. And I'm also pleased to note and to announce that Kenya has now endorsed the legally binding international pandemic treaty under WHO, which aims to strengthen global solidarity, high-level political commitment, and equitable distribution of vaccines, diagnostics, therapeutics during pandemics, especially to the developing world. So as I conclude this segment of my speech, I'd like to congratulate once again the World Health Organization for this great milestone and for having confidence in Kenya and her people to undertake the task of making this hub a reality. I also wish to commend the Cabinet Secretary and his team for spearheading the activities towards the establishment of this hub, and I indeed look forward to our nation joining other pioneering nations in the world that are host to regional WHO hubs and to the beginning of a new era in the management of health emergencies in our great continent of Africa. Asante sana na tunawashukuru. Thank you very much. Sijamaliza, please be seated. Nimemaliza ya Tedros. But I also want to take this opportunity to thank the team at Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital, because we have also taken advantage of this event to also open their new Cath Lab. I want to congratulate you because it is quite clear that this hospital is progressively going to become the most modern medical facility on the continent of Africa. I want to thank, through you, Chair, Dr. Olive Mugenda, and your entire team for the work that you have put in. We have had the opportunity to visit this hospital severally, and today we've seen what you've done in cancer. As she has correctly stated, we'll be the first country in Africa, outside of Egypt, to have the cyber knife. She promises me I'll be the one to open it. We have seen what we have done for cancer, now for cardiology. This hospital was fundamental, and it opened right on time and was instrumental in helping us manage the COVID pandemic, and we're very grateful for that. And what does this say? This just tells us that what the nation requires is just visionary men and women and people who are committed to work, you know? We're here celebrating a mzee like this, who had the foresight to support, start, and to understand what a facility like this would mean to the people of this republic. And we have come and continued and pushed that agenda through. But it is very sad also that we also have a few of us who are learned, but unfortunately lack wisdom and behave like very ignorant people who have never even entered a classroom door. And I'm sorry to say this, but it is true. Huh? And for their sake, because they're in the minority, the majority appreciate. But for their sake, let me wacha ni elaborate waelewe. Yeah? Property, whether ni state house ambapo naishi for the next few weeks. Yeah? Ama university kama hii, ama hospitali kama hii, ama shamba kama hii. This is the property of the Kenyan people, held in trust by the government of Kenya. Sijui kama tunaelewa. Do you understand me? Yeah? And this is why we try and adopt a whole of government approach. When you do projects, when you do things, you look at things globally. Yeah? In order for us to be able to move a country forward. We don't operate in silos. Kila mtu anashikilia ni kama ni yake. Hajui siku zake, hata kama zangu zimehesabiwa, hata zake zimehesabiwa. Unaona? Utaenda uache wengine waendelee. Ama ni namna gani? Yes? But there are some people who just don't seem to get it. Unaona kama ni mali yako, sio yako, ni ya umma. Na mali ya umma you're just a caretaker. That is all you are, a caretaker. And when you recognize that, and you recognize the whole government approach, then you also recognize that Kenya has never operated in isolation. Kenya is a respected member of the global community. On top of that, Kenya throughout her history is recognized as a very strong supporter of our multilateral institution. Sijui kama tunaelewana? That's why Dr. Baigura is here, leading Habitat, leading UNEP, na mambo mengine kama haya. That's why we want WHO here. Alafu wewe unaenda huko kusema ati hii shamba ni yako. Shamba yako kutoka wapi? Hii ni shamba ya Wakenya. And what this facility is going to do to help us improve healthcare, not just in Kenya, to help us meet emergencies, not just in Kenya, but throughout the African continent. Halafu wewe unaenda kuweka breaks hapo kwa sababu, lakini bado nimebaki wiki 3. We shall deal with those individuals swiftly and effectively. Swiftly and very effectively. Waende, tutaenda nyumbani na wao. Swiftly and very effectively. We can't have individuals, people operating as individuals. We operate on behalf of the people. We operate on behalf of the global community of which we are a respected member. Sio kurukaruka huko na mambo yako na fikira zako ambayo hatujui ni zimetoka wapi. Anyway, wacha nisi hiyo nimekwisha. Yangu ni kuwapongeza. Madam, on your hospital, to thank our partners WHO, to thank our partners in the United Nations, and to say that Kenya will continue to be a strong and firm supporter of all global efforts aimed at improving the lives of our people, aimed at bringing peace to our continent and to the world. And this is just a beginning. May God bless you. Asanteni sana.